have 100 stores closed and be utterly unaffected because 200 more are going to open in summer.
Right.
That's way into the future. But then there are like smaller companies that I think could really be success or like do a good job because of the turnkey thing that they do. So like I know Jersey Mike's does this thing where it's like I think it's like 400 hours that you have to do training at a store. Yeah. And then it's like 400 more hours where you have to go to New Jersey, the original store, and train with them. And then it's
they have this culture
after that.
Right.
So then the person you're putting in charge just went through this insanely rigorous, ridiculous amounts of hours.
That's exactly what we're going to be doing.
Head. You're like, oh God, I love Jersey Mike's and the culture and everything they do. And I think
now it's ingrained.
It's brilliant.
Right. And that's what we're going to be doing is my next step is basically creating that university. Yeah. The Krave University where if someone wants to become a franchisee, they're going to come, they're going to spend a week here. Yeah. They're going to dive into the culture and what we do, and especially these first local ones, they're going to spend a lot more time than that. Not to mention the time that we spend at their location, making sure that it's, making sure that that culture is set, because Jersey Mike's has a culture that is different from a fucking Subway.
Yeah, and that's right, and that's
what I mean?
That's what they're gonna pound into your brain the entire time that you're there. So what are you gonna be doing? The talking, like obviously you get people in here. Make them do a couple of 5 a.m.s and they're going to see something different than if they go to really almost any gym I think that you're going to go to. Yeah. And then, and not specifically 5 a.m. I just think that's a good example. Yeah. But then you're the whole time you're like chiseling away at the brain, right? Like all this stuff that you're like, no, we are better and this is why. We are better than this is why. Right. And it's brilliant because it's right. I mean. Yeah. So. And
that's the exciting part is we have the background as far as solidified into what we do that we can basically just the troubling part is when we get big, our main goal to new people are going to be uneducating them on what they think they know and what they think the fitness industry needs, and educating them on what we know and what how athletes train and how do we coach versus a trainer, all of this kind of stuff. And that's kind of the interesting dichotomy is that we and Tiger Rock's going through the same thing. Yeah. You have to uneducate yourself or uneducate the new people and basically say what you thought you knew about martial arts or what you thought you knew about the fitness industry. That's great. Put that on the shelf.
And let's do this.
And then let's do this the way that we do it. And you know what's great about what we do is if you've ever been an athlete, if you've ever had a coach or you've ever coached a sport, that's all everything that you do. If you keep in mind what you learned as an athlete, what you learned being a coach, what you learned being coached in athletics, all of that is what we need to remember. Right. So if you're answering a question and that's not something that your head wrestling coach would have said to his athletes, you're like, no, we have to do it this way because this is the atmosphere that we're setting. Yeah. And just keep in mind, we do this because of all of these years of research, not just with us, but all of these years of athletics that have existed since the beginning of time. Like that's the beginning of time. Cavemen did athletics.
Literally, yes, cavemen
the beginning
were
of
doing
time.
these workouts.
Right, exactly.
That's why they were so gosh darn strong.
They were in shape. They could, and that's our new motto: is you can tackle a mammoth if you work out at Krave.
Do you want to be able to fight saber-toothed tigers?
Right.
Because that's what they were doing back then. We're just bringing it back, you bunch of softies.
Yep, exactly.
We're trying to fix it. Yeah, and I think that goes hand in hand with what you guys are saying about having a person from the inside. Is that once they're that immersed and they're that bought into the culture, that it makes it so much easier, especially at the start.
It's easy to span.
Like, hey, you who's worked at whatever, come, we're going to hire you to be our head coach. And then you show up one day and you're like, what is happening? Right. What is everybody doing in here right now?
Exactly.
Why is everybody sad?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the funny part is like, I envision like a wrapped Krave like RV that like once a year we just bing boom boom go around and just like recorrect people.
Map pictures,
right?
Like,
it's like going here. Yeah, exactly. and like that's what it's going to take to become a brand that can ultimately. And the other thing is you can affect your community in whatever community you are.
Oh,
so
don't
you know,
get started on what you guys are doing with the community.
And that's the cool stuff, because with that we can really solidify what they're doing in and outside of the gym, and it just makes so much sense that if you're a good person, if you're a coach, you want to affect people. That's why you're open. That's why you ultimately would open up a Krave, right? You want to positively influence your athletes' lives, right?
People already have something
right.
Good about
and so not only that, but you live in a community that it's your responsibility, and now as a gym owner, it's even more your responsibility to take the team that you've created and help your community as well. And so that's the cool part about what we can expand, and that's ultimately the reason why we want to expand, is because we can get into different communities.
How much autonomy would you give to like them being able to choose what charity organizations that they work with?
See, and that's the thing that we discussed a little bit today, is most of what we pick is on a national scale for the purpose of find your local Special Olympics, find your local Habitat for Humanity, find your local Susan G. Komen, because they're everywhere. But we will most likely have a Jordan. You want to open up a Krave Gym, and you have something that's dear to your heart. You know, an organization that's dear to your heart. Maybe you already have relationships with some people. Maybe you're already involved with this organization. Then we will have a season that's open to, basically we make templates like this, that here it doesn't say anything about Habitat for Humanity, but it might be your organization, whatever you want to do, but you have these different things that are templated in here, and now you can just set these events with that organization in mind. And we have the overall theme, right? So strength in numbers doesn't necessarily have to be with Habitat for Humanity always. Maybe you have something that proves that in the community with a group of people we can affect this in a certain way. So you can really spin any organization into, the more people we have to do this, the more we get done. Where's our quote for this one? I think we have it up here somewhere. If not, it's up. The more we dream, the more we do. Damn, where is that quote? I could open the door. I think they're all out there now. But with this season, right, if that quote applies to the organization, then this would be a good season for you to work with that organization. If the beginning of the year, Special Olympics, our quote is, you can overcome your obstacles to be a better athlete, or to be a better person. And so maybe that you have an organization that's close to your heart that fits into that season a little bit more. So obviously we'll have different criteria and some oversight on what you can do, so we're not getting into trouble with
somebody that does something. I don't know any like horrible organizations off the top of my head, but I can,
but there could be there could be
really
sketchy,
near and dear to my heart, this horrible organization that does terrible things.
We are officially an anti-KKK podcast. We are officially an anti-KKK gym, and so
we're saying it.
Right,
Sorry,
we're saying it publicly.
Said it now. I can't believe it's taken
if we
this
haven't
many
said
episodes.
that, we are officially an anti-KKK. But something like that we would be like, nix right away. You know what I mean? But that's the thing that there are these fine lines, and the organizations that we pick obviously are going to be suggested. But anybody that has a firm relationship, or with a group of people, or a big reason, someone in their family is diagnosed with something, or something like that, then definitely we'll have those options for them. So athletes, welcome into another episode of the Gym Closet. This one's going to be a little bit longer, so hold on to your horses. Thank you so much for listening. If you have just been joining us, this podcast is an inspirational podcast. We go over ultimately what we do at Krave and why we do things the way we do things. And in that, if you're a Krave athlete, you get kind of the inside scoop of what we're doing, and you get the message that we want to pull. If you're outside of Krave Gym, then all of these things can apply to you as a human being and to what you should do in life to help other people. And so that's kind of and fitness in the community, all of that kind of stuff can apply. So everything we talk to, you don't have to be a part of Krave obviously to apply these things in a good way, but to those that are involved, to all of our athletes that listen, thank you to all of our coaches that listen. This gives you the inside scoop and why we do things from the top down, and this is going to continue to be those messages that we want to continue to instill in all of our athletes. So thank you for listening. Let's get right into the interview with one of our athletes, Tyler Weber. We got ditched today, so Zach is gone. And because Zach is gone, he said that he told Jordan that he couldn't do it. So Jordan thought it was off. And so those guys are not here. But we're better off because of that. So I'm here with special guest today, an athlete at Krave Gym. How long have you been with us now?
Friday will be start of month 6. So
awesome. Okay, I was going to say. Okay, awesome. So you've seen several seasons. But I'm here with Tyler Weber. What's your handle or Instagram if people want to follow you? I
don't even know. I think it's like
good question, right?
Let me look.
Because I know I follow you. I know I see you, and that's kind of what we talked about and why we had some of his recent social media. He's doing some before and afters and since he started and all that kind of stuff. So we were like, we got to pull him in here and get his story. So what's your?
So
idea?
I am at T Weber with 1B .520
at T Weber 1B 520.
Yeah,
nice.
You'd
awesome.
be surprised how many times you have to specify 1B. Everybody just straight goes for 2.
Really?
For the last 10 years of my life.
That's interesting. I
I've
don't
had
know.
to specify every time.
I think it's a second nature to me because I see your name all the time.
Yeah.
And so like I would spell Weber with 1B, but I guess I'd never thought about spelling Weber before I met you. Maybe.
Yeah. Just to make it easier for people, I just tell them, hey, it's Weber, 1B.
1B.
Just
nice.
right off the bat.
Right off the bat. I love it. That's awesome. So welcome into the gym closet, by the way.
Thank you. It's actually a closet.
Right. Yes. You don't understand, like, we're not funny. We didn't just like make up like a gym closet. We named it just because we're literally sitting in a gym closet right now. And so it's interesting whenever we have a guest, they're always like, it makes sense now. You're actually in a gym closet.
That's what that door's for.
Right, exactly. So you open up the shadowy door and all of a sudden you get a gym closet. So tell us a little bit about, we'll start off kind of, today we're going to go over, and I'm going to go over our new season. So Tyler, you'll get a front row seat in the first one to hear all about the new season. But we'll start with kind of talking to you about what your experience is like and all of that kind of stuff. So what brought you to Krave in the first place?
Well, actually, one of my wife's coworkers actually goes here, and I was kind of looking for a place to work out because I was really unhappy with the weight that I had gained since high school, and so came here for the pink out workout.
Awesome.
My very first workout here. Killed me. I was dead by the end.
I remember
of it.
talking to you after that. Yeah.
It was rough, and then I came back.
I wasn't sure if you were one of those that were like, yeah, I really don't like it was not fun. And I was like, shit, I wonder if he'll come back. But you had a little bit of that but I need something challenging type of thing.
Because I've done other gym memberships before. Like I've been a member at the Y, I've been a member at a couple other gyms. One of my old apartments had a gym built in. So
sure.
I was doing that for a while. But when you're just by yourself, it gets really hard. It's hard to stay motivated. And coming here, so did the pink out workout, came back, I think it was like Wednesday or Thursday or whatever, had LG as a coach. So
okay, awesome.
Got killed again.
Right, again.
So, and then at the end of that, I talked to you and I was like, let's just do it.
I love it.
If I don't do it now, I'm just going to leave and that'll be it.
Right,
so,
right. You've been a prime teammate to everybody. You bust your ass when you're here. You've gone to several events and stuff that we've had outside of the gym, which you've kind of encapsulated everything that we want in a team member. You also brought your wife in. She's a Krave athlete as well. So what's that dynamic like as far as I know? So I remember talking to you and you were competing with her. She wasn't an athlete here yet, and you were competing with her for some contest or something. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we both have our Apple Watches that we do, and you can do challenges to see who can earn the most points or whatever.
Okay, sure.
So before she joined here, I was a member already, so I just killed her on that competition.
Yeah.
It wasn't even remotely close because
that's
you
awesome.
can get 1,000 points max a day, and if it wasn't a max, I think I would have just It would have been done day one.
Yeah. That's awesome. So you maxed out your Apple Watch every day that you were training here. And so, you train 3 days a week. I see you every once in a while on the weekends doing your own thing here. So that's awesome as well. What kind of sport, have you played any sports or anything like prior to like in high school and that kind of stuff?
I did track my freshman year of high school.
Okay.
And that was it.
That was it? Awesome.
I played tennis like recreationally with my dad, and a couple of friends and I would like throw footballs around, play basketball in the driveways and stuff, but never anything like through high school. It was just that freshman year, and I was like, I'm done.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I would also, I quit track after my freshman year too. I think that track was absolutely no fun.
First day of throwing up, I was just like, I'm done.
Yeah, this is not happening.
High school was really I'm just gonna hang out with my friends and kind of do whatever.
Yeah,
because my metabolism was running pretty great at that point.
Sure.
So I didn't really have to worry about not being active. So me and my friends just hanging out on the couch, not really a big deal.
Right. So, yeah, and then you can eat whatever you want, and that's awesome too. So
eat a triple cheeseburger for lunch, eat another one for dinner.
Right.
Go to sleep.
You're
Wake
good to
up,
go.
Totally fine.
Yep.
It was great.
But you had that tight group of friends probably that you hung out with and did stuff with, which is awesome. That's what we try to create here is because that's the big thing. Like when you're out of high school and you're out of that like environment to where you naturally and for me it was always athletics, but I'm sure for other people it's the neighborhood you live in or friends from school, whatever the case might be. Like I walked into a room and we were forced to be in a room with all these football players, right? So I had my like assigned friends when I went to college, when I went to high school, all of those type of things. But then you get out of college or you get out of high school and all of a sudden you're like, okay, I go to work. I don't really want to be friends with everybody I work with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, so what can I do to actually like have a social life to outside? And I feel like we try to create that atmosphere where you can hang out with some of and a lot of these people hang out with each other outside of the gym. So do you find a little bit of that as far as, in the gym? Have you met people that you hang out with a little bit now or talk outside of the gym at all?
No, not really outside of the gym, but like every time I'm here, like any session I come to, there's usually someone that I've met or someone that I know.
Awesome.
Whether it's from working out here or it's from the events that you guys do, like the Smash Park was really fun. I met a couple people there.
That was an awesome event. Yeah.
The dodgeball, that was a good time.
Yeah,
dodgeball was great.
The Special Olympics dodgeball is like the best worst time ever. Like it's so humbling because you end up losing to like a bunch of like 4th graders or 5th graders, and it's like, how the hell did these kids just beat us? Like, are we that unathletic and bad? But I just say that it's because they have been practicing like in gym class, because we got our asses kicked in all sorts of ways by kids that I feel like I'm embarrassed to say they killed us. But so what in Krave for the training sessions, what are some of your favorite elements of the training, and kind of what do you enjoy most, and then what like kicks your ass the most that you absolutely hate?
I enjoy the team environment the most. I think having other people around like to compete with subconsciously really keeps me motivated.
Right.
Like, we'll be in striking and I'll be next to someone that's just killing it. And it's like, well, all right, I gotta keep up with them now.
Right.
I can't look like a chump.
Damn it.
Yeah, right. I like that a lot, but then anything to do with legs is just awful for me. My legs are the worst.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then you hear like, and that's another thing that I love about the team sessions and almost forcing you to do a balanced workout. You know what I mean? Because so many people you hear, that work out on their own or whatever the case might be, they're like the whole like meme that skipped leg day type of thing, right?
Yeah.
And that's the hardest thing to get yourself to do if you have no reason to do it. You know what I mean? Like I should probably do leg day today, but no one's watching me. I'm working out on my own, and I could much easier do arms or chest or whatever the case might be, So that's the one thing that I do love about the programming, that you are forced to do everything that you need to do to get better and succeed, So, and speaking of that, so Tyler, if you guys haven't met Tyler, he's had awesome results. What are some of your results kind of from day one till now in all aspects of what you do?
Well, day one, starting weight, day one was like 233 pounds. So day one coming in, super out of shape. My last, 4 or 5 years have just been at a desk job, so I sit all day.
Sure.
2 of those years I was working from home, so I really wasn't even moving that much. I was
Sure.
just kind of walk to the next room, sit at my desk all day,
Right.
go downstairs when I'm done, good to go.
Right.
So
Which
started
sounds
off-
awesome. I mean,
it was.
It sounds like a pretty awesome
Yeah.
gig to have. What is it that you do?
I work for Wells Fargo,
Okay, cool.
so I manage like their IT support and stuff.
Sure.
So yeah, I did that for a while and started working out here. And the first, I don't know, month of being here was just rough.
Sure.
So it's just a lot of like working out for an hour when you haven't worked out in 5 years is
Right.
hard to get used to and hard to get into. But being here and having the challenge days that you guys do that I take part in, and having people around and having the coaches that more or less kick your ass 90% of the time,
Yeah.
just yell at you when you're not doing something, that's really helped. So, and then just winning challenges and stuff makes you want more. Like, it's just one of those things. Like, I never realized how competitive I was until I
Sure.
got into this environment.
Yeah.
And I've noticed it more in my personal life too, like whether it be at work or just hanging out, just competitive through and through now.
Right. Well, I mean, and I knew, you might not have known, but I knew like that or I thought you were competitive right away, because even before, right away when you started, you were having competitions with your wife about, all your points and all that kind of stuff. So like, I always assumed that like you had always been super competitive, because you do super well during the challenges and all that kind of stuff. We got the championship coming up tomorrow, so you ready for that?
Yep. It'll be
awesome.
fun.
It'll be a good one for everybody. It's going to be brutal, but it'll be a great competition. I can't leak any of that yet, but everybody will find out tomorrow what's going on. So now where you are today, what's the difference, and I guess what has improved, and what are some of the things, both physically and then also outside of the gym, and has anything else improved as far as you talked about like your competitiveness and all that kind of stuff? How has Krave kind of affected you outside of the gym as well?
Well, outside of the gym, like first off, I've lost so much weight that I've had to buy all new wardrobe. So, that's been pretty sweet.
Right.
Yeah. Had to buy all new jeans, all new work pants. So that was a good feeling, but expensive.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
So, but outside of the gym, I feel like I have more energy. Like if I haven't gone to the gym that day, I have all that energy that I could use at the gym. So I feel like I can get more done. I've like super focused on stuff now when
Awesome.
I need to work on stuff, and it's just like completely different, because before it was like that feeling. Like ever have a day where you just kind of feel like you're in a fog?
Oh yeah.
That's how
Yep.
like the last 2 years of my life feel now.
Really? Okay.
Because
Yeah.
I've got like awareness and
You've kind of
energy.
felt that next, like what
Yeah.
you could have felt like that entire time, and you're like, holy shit,
Yeah.
I didn't know that I was in that fog at that time.
Yeah. So like that's been really good, and just feeling better about myself. Like, because I had a really negative self-image back in October when I started here, because I was at the heaviest I've ever been. I wasn't super athletic anymore, so
Sure.
super negative self-image, and that's improving now. And like going up to people that see me all the time, if I haven't seen them for a while, they're like, "You look great."
Oh,
My
that's awesome.
family
Yeah.
is even like, "Thanks, you're motivating me to do stuff with my Facebook posts," and
That's awesome.
so yeah.
That's really cool, and social media shares so much of that. So what are your stats at now? So you started at what,
I started at 233,
Okay.
and I was down to 200 on Saturday morning.
Okay, awesome. So 33 in little over 5 months. That's
Yeah.
awesome. You've been killing it. Have you seen any or felt any strength gains and that kind of stuff? What's your stats feel like in the strength area?
They're good. I mean, I started off like the first championship that I was at was the Heart and Hustle Championship, and we
Okay.
had to do, it was like 4 minutes of benching 95,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and I just hated it. Like I did 40 in 4 minutes, which I think I matched a couple other people that were here, but that made me feel really weak. But
Sure.
I'm better at the cardio stuff than I am the strength stuff right
Yeah.
now. So doing that compared to now, because now like when I'm here benching, it's like in the hundreds now. So
Awesome,
90,
yeah.
if I had to do 95 again, I think it'd go pretty well.
Yeah, that's sweet. And that's the crazy thing is like muscle endurance with the lightweight high time is crazy, because it ends up being like when you burn out and when you have your muscles full of lactic acid, you're done. You know what I mean? And so you just push the longer and longer you work out, the more you push that threshold back. And so you end up getting to that fail time or that fail rep, at 10, 15, 20, 35 reps more. And so you you feel the exact same. I mean, on those burnouts, you're going to burn out, right? But
Yeah.
you feel the exact same, but then you're going to have the reps are going to be. And so I think we have something like, I want to say we repeat that test. I can't remember exactly. If Zach was here, he'd know. He'd be able to tell you a little bit more. But I'm super excited about the championship tomorrow. I'll actually be out of town, which I'm not excited about, but I'm hoping to get back by the time the championship starts that night. So
Live stream the whole thing.
right, exactly. That's what I should do.
Then you can watch it later.
Then I can watch it. Yes, that's what we need to start doing. We're also going to start thinking about doing multiple locations because we have our second location in Waukee. So we're going to think about doing qualified athletes all together in both locations and having kind of a traveling trophy rivalry type of thing that we can create. Yes. And so I'm kind of pumped to have, we can have basically like a big trophy of some sort, like travel with whichever gym like wins the championship or whatever, or whichever person that's representing the gym wins the championship. They can get their like name. Just
make it all team challenges for the gym versus gym. Have like 3v3 competitions.
That would be fun. We did so at the dodgeball. We had a team from Waukee, and then we had multiple teams from West Des Moines. But that was really fun to watch. The Waukee team go against the West Des Moines teams and end up having a little bit of a rivalry and competitiveness that we did there. But outside of the gym, do you do like I want to get to know Tyler? What do you tell him today?
Well, right now she's doing school. She's going back to school for IT, so a lot of it right now is her doing homework. Sure. So
that's got to be tough. I mean,
yeah.
I've always thought like it's one of those things where it's like, okay, so the entire every industry like revolves around technology and IT now, and so like I've always thought like if I could go back in time and like and take a path or one way, I would always have like a side gig of IT stuff, and I never have. So that's the problem is I'm always like trying to find somebody to help me out do like this or that, just because I'm illiterate when it comes to technology.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I like. A 9-year-old would probably be better at a lot of the stuff than I am, and which it sucks.
It's crazy how much 9-year-olds know about tech. Like,
isn't that yeah?
Just hand them something, they'll download the internet completely to your phone in 10 seconds.
Right, and that's what it just is crazy to me is like I need to start hiring 9-year-olds to like do our software updates and stuff for the Krave Gym because and the thing that's going to be crazy, and I don't know if you like realize. I don't know if people before us realize this as much, but like, that time where you start, you notice like your kids are smarter at something than you, or know more about something than you.
Yeah.
Like for our generation, it probably happened when like the cell phones came out and like your parents started asking like, how do I work this thing? Right now it's going to be like everything. People like kids are coding at like age 9,
Yeah.
And that's the kind of stuff that is going to be crazy. But do you do nutrition with?
I don't. I was thinking about like inquiring a little more into that now because I've gotten to the point where I hit my first goal that I wanted to hit at, but now that I've hit my goal of losing that weight, I think I want to focus more on like specifics with everything.
Sure.
Because when I started, my main focus was just weight. Like I don't want to weigh this much anymore. Like this sucks. So got to my first goal there, and now I want to focus more on like specifics for what to build next and what goals I need to set next.
So what nutritionally have you changed? You said, obviously when we're young we can eat whatever we want, but what nutritionally have you changed from 2 years ago till, today when you're on this weight loss journey here since the last 5 months?
Well, it's kind of hit or miss. I mean, sometimes the diet will go really well and it'll be good for a week or two straight, and then it's horrible food all over the weekends, and then it's time to start the diet again on Monday.
Right. Yeah.
So we've been doing better. Like we meal prep for the days now. So
awesome.
Either cook a bunch of chicken and like broccoli and throw that in Tupperware for a couple days, and then I'll cook another batch of that on Wednesday. Or here lately, I've just been making us old school sandwiches.
Oh yeah,
lunch meat sandwiches, PB&J. So
that
works really well.
People underestimate the nutritional value of like the old school sandwich. I mean, if you have, a lean meat type of turkey like deli meat turkey sandwiches, that's an awesome dinner, and most people have it overlooked. But then like I'll do that on a day where where I'm like, oh shit, I I haven't prepped anything. I want to eat well today. I go into the kitchen and nothing's prepared, so I'm like, okay, I'm really way too lazy to do anything, so I'll make myself a sandwich. But I mean, that's a really good go-to that a lot of people underestimate, and I think it's because like we grow up eating like those for lunches and stuff, so we're like, we're either sick of them or we can't, like, those can't be good for us because we ate them when we were kids, right? but yeah, very underestimated food in the sandwich. Is there anything else that you would want to add to this? You think you're good?
Yeah,
I love it. That's awesome.
good.
No, I'm super excited about having this format and getting every season. We're trying to get a couple athletes to feature in our podcast, and we'll jump up, and if it's all right, we'll share your before and after picture with the gym closet. Sure. So we'll share Tyler's stuff, and with the gym closet, we'll show his journey and his progress, and he'll continue to kick ass and win a couple of these challenges here, which tomorrow, Thursday, you're probably listening to this on Friday though, so it was probably yesterday that we had the challenge. So we can update anybody that when I do the closing, I'll update everybody on the challenge and how that went. So
cool.
So thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tyler Weber, for a great interview. We did that actually last week, and we're recording it this week. We had, because this is episode 69, I wanted it to be special. I didn't want it to just throw out the just an interview. So what we did is the season that we will preview here as well. We're getting into the first week of the season, so Jordan will talk a little bit about his experience in this first week with the training camp. But thank you so much, Tyler. And Jordan had just...
Yeah. So Tyler, who I've just kind of recently met, I saw him at a few events and then had a conversation with him more recently. On Wednesday, before we did the championship, he did 2 team workouts in a row, back to back, 4:30 and then the
5:30,
championship, and then the championship on Thursday.
Baller.
Yeah, dude. And he's like, "Oh, that was the warm up." I was like, "The warm up."
That's awesome. He's in it.
He didn't take
He's
it
in
easy
it.
either. The
Right.
second one around, you're thinking like, "Oh, he'll slack off for it." He did not.
Right.
I was like, "Oh, holy crap!"
See, and this is what I love about Tyler. So, in the interview, he said, he didn't do athletics. He did track for a little bit, but then quit that. Wasn't a track guy, but has gotten here and like embraced that competitive athletic style of training, and so it's funny because he does those training sessions. He does the championship, and he's been successful in qualifying and jumping into the championship
he had a good
too.
championship too.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain he got he rode the farthest. In
That's awesome.
Time allotted.
I mean, anytime that you can get into a championship and win
any
any event in there, I mean, that's the best of the best. And we'll talk about the championship coming up as well. But let's get into the season and what the season's all about. So we'll go ahead and put that in right now. Now we're going to go into next season. So next season is Strength in Numbers season. So we have a lot to go over. I'm super excited about that, but it is starting March 4th. We have a preseason game plan the day before on March 3rd. That's a Sunday at 4 o'clock at each location. That is basically going to be getting your pre-strength numbers in, and then post-strength numbers will come at the end of that season. So if you got our last season's numbers pre-tested, then you will post-test out, and then you'll pre-test your strength numbers. So we'll pre-test our strength numbers. Then we're going to get into so we are in strength in numbers, and what that means is obviously strength is the emphasis in the gym. We're working, there's a lot of differences that we'll be doing. We have an extra rack, so we'll be partnered in the racks. We're excited to have basically the entire time during those rounds to do a certain set of reps of a certain movement. So you will be with a partner, that's a spotter, and you'll be rotating. You have basically the 7 minutes to get 5 sets in, and you'll be rocking and rolling. It's going to have to be a quick pace, but you still have a little bit more time than you would normally have in the 4 minutes. So we're getting a ton of volume of strength in. We're able to get heavy. We're working on power. With strength emphasis, power is, we're going to hone in on power even more. So everything that we do is controlled movement down and power up. anything that we do, explosive movement. That's all we want this entire season, is training explosive movement. So the other part of strength in numbers is numbers. And so basically we are teamed with Habitat for Humanity. We have the cool thing about what they do is obviously they have a bunch of people that in big numbers can get a task done, a large task done, you know, an almost impossible thing, building a house, right? How many people can say that they've built a house? A lot of people have built houses with the Habitat for Humanity, and they organize construction and different things. So they have this team and network. So we're super excited to work with them. We have in the Krave community, we have basically the first thing that we will do is out March 16th is going to be our St. Patty's Day workout. So we will have everybody wearing green, a training session. I believe that's Saturday. That will be March 16th, where we will have everybody wearing green getting together for a free community workout, and it will be a party atmosphere. We're going to get some really good training in, and then also have a great time doing it. The second thing that we will be doing all season long, we will have our Strength in Numbers t-shirts available. Again, a portion of all those proceeds go to the Habitat for Humanity. Then we have our third thing. We have 2 time to builds. So twice this season, April 13th and April 20th, we will have opportunities to actually get out in the community and build. So we will have teams put together. We will have a site that we will meet at, and we will have, with the guidance of people from Habitat for Humanity, we'll be building. Last year I did it. I was actually the only one because of really crappy weather, but I helped I've helped the volunteers from Habitat for Humanity, and I helped some kids from Iowa State. We laid sod. We helped build a shed out back. We laid rock. We did a whole bunch of fun stuff to help the community and to build and to get this house going for them. So we'll have 2 opportunities to build, and then ready to restore April 27th. They have a restore, which is basically they bring in items and repurpose them or raw materials and sell them to people at a discounted rate. So we will be working inside of the restore. It's an awesome opportunity. The volunteer in the Urbandale restore. So we will be in the Urbandale restore April 27th. So those are the 5 things that we are doing this season with Habitat for Humanity. We're so excited to do it. The quote is for this season is, the more we dream, the more we do, the more we unite, the more we achieve. And so the big thing about that is the more we unite, the more we can achieve. And that's what the Strength in Numbers does. We have a giant team of athletes here, and we've really made an impact. This last season, we made an awesome impact on the Special Olympics, and being able to raise for the polar plunge, we raised over $1,800. We raised, I think, $1,300 at the Special Olympics dodgeball. And so it's not always about money, but money helps these organizations. It is about money or time or volunteering, anything that we can. This time around, we don't have to spend any money. We can just help somebody physically build a house or physically help them in construction projects. And so that's what we are going to be doing. Obviously, we will take donations in certain aspects as well with the t-shirt fundraisers and all of that kind of stuff. But this is such a great opportunity to come together again as a team. We're concentrating on building team actions for building strength. That's kind of what what these things are in all we do. We also have published on everywhere around the gym starting on March 4th. We will have published when the training camp is. So the training camp is awesome. So the training camp is basically the first week. This first week training camp is everybody's learning new exercises, new drills, and we expect all of our athletes to take this time and really be coached up, and our coaches are going to slow down the pace a little bit. We're going to make sure that everybody has perfect form. We're really going to concentrate on making sure that all of our athletes know exactly what they're doing during this training camp. This training camp is free for everybody. So invite your friends, invite your family, invite the community. This is a time for building our team. And during this time, it's great because everybody's new to these exercises, everybody's new to these lifts, everybody's new to these drills that we are doing. So as a team, we will learn and continue. So it's a great time to start because everybody is kind of on the same page. So we will get into the training camp for the first week. That is March 4th through the 9th. We have events on Facebook for all of this, so make sure that you go ahead and join that. Challenges, we have 7 different challenges throughout this season. Those are published on different dates as well, and then the championship is May 4th, so that's the last Saturday of our May 4th. I'm not sure exactly on what day that is, but that is the last week of the season in May. So March and April is this season, and then the last couple days in May for the championship. And all of us are, everybody that qualifies will get our baller band qualification rubber bands, and we have a lot of really cool stuff. We're super, super excited for this season. I have so much different things that the clock is going to be changing. The coaches will be having whistles. So instead of all of the coaches, losing their voice at the 3, 2, 1, shouting over music, all that kind of stuff, we're going to have a whistle to change just on the time calls. So instead of the 3, 2, 1 switch and yelling that over the music, we're basically going to have a whistle that's going to tell you when to switch. So when that whistle, hopefully that also takes you back to when you were playing sports. And I don't know if I ever had a coach that didn't have a whistle around his neck. So that's going to be a part of our program now, and getting the coaches' whistles will be a big part of this season. So we're super excited about this season. There's so much to be excited about, and we're going to get strong this season. We're going to create power. So even in agility, we're going to be doing explosive movements. In endurance, we're going to be doing a steady state again and our 20-second sprint. So we're going to get both steady state and HIIT. In striking, we're going to be working on power. So we're going to be powering through the bags. Everything that we do, we're going to bring our hips. Everything that we're going to do, we're going to drive through the bags and create that power. So this season is created in order to increase and create more power for us. And that helps us in so many aspects of performance and in life. So that's the main goals. And we're celebrating our team and, uniting and achieving more as a united unit of people, and that's of athletes. And that's what we're super excited about. And that's really it for our season review or preview. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask any of the coaches at either location, and they will be prepped up on everything as well. So we're going to get this rolling. We got the preseason game plan starting on the 3rd on Sunday at 4. So we hope to see everybody there. That's kind of what we can expect this season. We are right in the middle of training camp. We will be putting this out probably at the end of the week here on Thursday or Friday, so we will be almost done with training camp. We do have the grand opening on Saturday at 8 to 9 training session at Waukee, and then a open house from 9 to 11 where we will be having mimosas, snacks. That's more of an opportunity to meet the community, to get out and talk to people, come in a super non-invasive way and get as many people there as possible. So if you are available from 9 to 11, we will be hanging out and just chatting and talking and having a good time, drinking mimosas and introducing everybody. Right. And
mimosas.
Yeah.
You had me at mimosas.
That's really what we've been advertising is like, grand opening, open house, ... capital letters, mimosas. Like that. That's what's hopefully going to get people there. So, so we're really excited about that. But we are almost done with the training camp for the strength and numbers season. Obviously, if you guys have been in here, the changes and what we're trying to accomplish, working on power, just like we talked about here in the season preview. But Jordan you've been in a couple sessions now, right?
Just did my first one this morning.
Awesome.
And stop me if this, obviously, folks, I wasn't here for the interviews. Our schedules were weird last week. That's why he did those 2 things, and then I'm here now. But the training session, so stop me if I'm repeating something that you did, is not like anything that we've ever done before in any training session ever. We've done strength seasons since I started working out here 3 years ago. Strength has always been a focal point where you've said, all right, this season, and it wasn't.
And we had lift to lift.
Yeah, it wasn't seasons like it is now.
Yep.
But there has been a blotted out time where Tyler and Amber were like, it's strength time, and we did 6 to 8 reps of stuff. They have never been like they are right now, and I love it.
Yes.
I am here for all of it, dude. I was watching them do it on Tuesday, and I was like, that looks kind of interesting.
Say, wait a minute, let's
and
get
then I did it today, and I was like, this is the best.
Yes.
5 sets.
Yep.
7 minutes. As much time as you want. It's still fast enough that I'm sweating while I'm doing it.
Right.
I'm obviously not going as heavy as I normally would, but I'm still using a lot more strength than I would if I was doing 4 minutes and having to do it.
Yep.
I'm here for all of it. I love it.
It is awesome.
And so
yes.
I don't just love it. The people that I talk to, every single person I've talked to this week, they've looked at me as they're like grabbing their butt cheek, stumbling over to talk to me, and been like, did you do the class on Monday or Tuesday?
Yeah.
I'm like, no way. And this is like, I'm talking like Mitch and Sean and like guys that they work their legs out constantly. I see them do it. They're like, this is the sorest my legs have been in 3 years.
So the thing that I love about this programming is you basically get if you count the 2020s in the power block, which I don't normally, but you still get the way that we've done it. You're still now, that's kind of your taxing part of the workout, but you get 17 sets of volume in less than 20 minutes.
Yep.
You know, and so that is so exciting to me because volume, and we've talked about this in previous podcasts, go back to how to gain strength, how to gain power, all that kind of stuff. You can look through our different podcasts, the science behind it. Right, there's just called strength. But the scientific philosophy behind all of this is you have to get certain volumes of these things, of these strength movements, to A, get better at them, B, to increase weight and increase strength and power, and then C, if you don't get the volumes of these certain aspects, you're not going to be pushing yourself to the limit. And so what we created for this strength season is optimizing the volume of strength that you can do. And okay, the coolest thing that I've seen now, since last week we did the preview, and that was before training camp. This week I've been here for so many of the training camp sessions, which is awesome. When we do these, you're in a partner scenario, and like you can't like manufacture the teamwork and like the camaraderie that comes with like a partner strength movement. Like I was videotaping for our story, and like, do I want this? Yes, absolutely. But could I manufacture it? Not a chance in hell. But I was videotaping for maybe 40 seconds, and I saw like 7 like legitimate high fives and like hugs, like great reps, great set. Like this is what it's all about. So being able to see all of that come together with the volume that we're trying to create and all of this kind of stuff is really, and not to mention the whistles.
Dude, the whistles, those are interesting. I love the somebody posted on the Facebook was like, this was Dylan earlier today. I was like, what does that mean? And then when I was in, Dylan's blowing away on that whistle. I was like, oh, I got it now.
And so like logistically I love it because it's such a clean way to switch.
Yeah.
But as far as the culture and as far as what we're trying to create with coaches, when you grew up, did you ever have a coach that didn't have a whistle around his neck? You know, so we're going to implement this from here forward. But the whistles, like logistically, are great because now you can hear the time being done a lot easier than if you're at the other side of the gym and someone's counting down 3, 2, 1, switch, right? But so it's super clean. But then just the fact that whether you use the whistle or not, if you're carrying around a whistle, just like that meme, if you're carrying around a whistle, like you're the coach. Like that's such an iconic, like that's such an iconic way to visualize a coach, and to see all of that and to hear the whistle go off. Like I was so excited about all of that kind of stuff, and having that involved now is a huge part of the program moving forward. So I'm pumped. And I got a bunch of good comments like, oh, I love the whistles. Like I didn't notice it until I love the whistles.
You should also make them wear like all gray sweatpants and like a dirty sweatshirt.
I was thinking short shorts. Like
all of it.
Yes.
Straight out of the 80s. I want them all to look exactly like that when they're coaching.
Have you ever watched the Goldbergs?
No, I don't think that.
They have a phys ed coach that they make like the iconic 70s 80s
Yes.
gym teacher.
Yep.
And that is like the super short shorts, the
Yes.
high white socks with the tennis shoes and all of that. I love it.
Play Eye of the Tiger on repeat the
Right,
whole
the
time.
entire
no
time.
other songs. 1 hour every day.
Right.
Eye of the Tiger on repeat.
That's awesome. So we're super excited about this season. You know, if you have any questions, your coaches can go over any of the questions. Remember, training camp is for form. It's free for the community. It's free for family and friends. It's a time to learn. So we're slowing down the pace. We're stopping the clock. We're not worried if you don't get your 5 sets in during the training camp week. We're okay with that because we want to make sure that everyone's doing it perfect, and that way you can take that perfect form and hit heavier weight, hit more volume as you go down this season. So we're super excited about that. This season has started off with a huge bang, and I'm so excited about it. With that being said, we're going to get into some segments. We got a Today I Learned from Jordan. As always, I'm super excited about this.
All right, so today I learned that in the 1920s, newly hired engineers at General Electric would be told as a joke to develop a frosted light bulb. The experienced engineers believed this to be impossible. In 1925, newly hired Marvin Pipkin got the assignment, not realizing it was a joke, and succeeded.
That's awesome.
So if you think instead of like those completely clear light bulbs that we have, those frosted over, they did it.
That's awesome. I love that, like, it's taking something as like almost that is a joke because you think it's impossible, and then someone comes up with an answer like that is awesome.
They're just
you
like, oh,
innovate.
wait, this was a joke? Well, what?
Right. You innovate out of like impossibilities.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I love that.
Love it.
Today I learned. We're also going to do today's foodie. So 2 weeks ago we had a foodie finalist.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about the foodie and where we were at.
Not shocking, as I think anybody in Iowa would know, Casey's won.
Casey's
by
Pizza.
By a landslide.
Yep.
And let me just say this. Obviously, most of the stuff we did were everybody knows it, the pizzas, the Papa John's, the Casey's, all that. Guys, most of these pizzas were garbage.
Yes.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I think we know that.
Yeah.
We threw in a couple just to test to see if people
And
ate
they
it
lost
again.
immediately.
They lost horribly. And the funny part about it is people that have had Wing and Pin, people that have had Big Tomato, they were blowing my DMs up. They're like, this is bullcrap. People, they're idiots. These are more.
How does someone like Domino's over William Penn? Because William Penn is good. Is
it's
the
like,
pizza,
it's like
right?
the top of the echelon almost in Iowa, which I just thought that was kind of funny. I'm not surprised by these results at all. But what did surprise me was obviously everybody was going to be voting Casey's from Iowa.
Which I'm going to take credit for this. We didn't have Casey's on our original list. And
we would have been eaten alive again.
Yes, and I texted, I think probably hours before we launched the foodie, and I said we better include Casey's Pizza because
we don't want another.
We will
be
we will be just slaughtered on this if we don't have Casey's, and ultimately it won because Casey's is the Iowa and Midwest like pizza heaven, which is interesting because so Trent on Barstool Sports president, he does the pizza review. They have like an actual pizza app that's all of the pizzas. It's called One Bite, and they have all of these pizza places ranked 0 to 10, depending on their criteria, which is how good it is compared to like the best of the best in New York, and so New York being a big pizza place, that's where they feel like they have it. So they came to Iowa for the Iowa game this last year, and they did a college game day show on Facebook with it, and he got berated with, you have to do a pizza review on Casey's,
and so it has to be breakfast pizza.
Yep, and he did it, and he was disappointed with the Casey's Pizza. He
ranked it
called
horribly.
it garbage,
yeah,
and said that it was garbage. Which comparatively to like a New York pizza, I'm not a huge pizza connoisseur. I love Casey's, but
I think that's the important thing to point out. Anybody puts a Casey's breakfast pizza in front of my face, I'm gonna eat that thing and I'm gonna love it.
Right,
but I do know objectively that a giant heaping pile of greasy nonsense is
Right.
not a delectable pizza. It's
Yes.
It's not good quality. It's not what I would compare to the higher
It's
levels
not
of
going to be
pizza.
your wood
No.
oven stove, New
I'm
York
not gonna
slice.
bite into it and be like, "Oh my gosh,
Right.
this is incredible." No, I'm
This
gonna be
is
like,
where it's at.
I drank too much last night. I
Right.
just need my stomach to stop hurting. A grease bomb.
But the people have spoken.
They've spoken.
And Casey's is the winner.
The winner.
So we are going to get into a new foodie for next, and this is going to
Seasonal.
be
I think it's topical.
This is a topical seasonal one. And mostly I think because of our personal experience recently, you had what, like 9 boxes of these?
I had 4 of them.
4 of them
Recently.
Okay. Yeah, and I recently had a Thin Mint for the first time, and about lost my shit and ate the entire thing.
I was hoping you would say you're totally unimpressed. All right, but go ahead.
No, I like I've never tried. I've always had the peanut butter ones. What are they called?
Tongalonga.
Tomalongas. And I've
Or
always
peanut butter patties for those.
peanut
that
butter
don't.
patties.
It's the same
And
thing.
I loved those, and those were the only ones that I would eat, and the only ones that I would have my parents order when I was young, because like just the name Thin Mint. Like,
You're like, oh, what am I brushing my teeth?
I'm not. Yeah, I don't want mint in my cookie. That's not appetizing. But it's very. I had it, and I don't know if my taste buds
Put
have
your name
switched.
on it.
But
Which one's better, in
Thin
your
Mint.
opinion? What?
then the peanut butter.
Okay.
But I'm not a. You're a Samoa fan.
Dude, and so same thing. Like when I was a kid, I loved Samoas so much, but it's not just that I only
Is it
ordered
nostalgia
Samoas. No,
that makes you
'cause
love them?
I still only bought 4 boxes of Samoas and devoured the things.
Sure.
But listen, like it's not just that I love them. I thought that I thought they were like the only cookies anybody ordered. I didn't know people liked other things. I had to grow up and learn that people enjoyed Thin Mints. And only recently, like 2 weeks ago, I found out people think peanut butter patties are the best. This blew my mind. I didn't know people ate those. But as a kid, when we had Samoas, like during Girl Scout cookie season, my mom would order 10 boxes. And it was this is wrestling season, so it was always during wrestling season.
Okay.
She had to hide them. She was like, "Look, I'm gonna hide them so your father doesn't eat them because these are for you." But
After
we
wrestling.
all know that you have to wait till after wrestling
Right.
season, otherwise you're gonna weigh 20 pounds heavier, you big fat fucker.
Right. Yeah. That's
So,
awesome. And
yeah,
so if
like-
you haven't picked up on it yet, we are going to be doing the next foodie is Girl Scout cookies. So we will have the votes available for everybody. We want to get the people's thoughts. We will have Samoa's, Thin Mints, Tommy Longo's which are peanut butter patties. They have s'mores. They have, is it lemonades?
Yeah, lemonades.
Lemonades. They have shortbread. They have thanks a lot, and they have a peanut butter sandwich. So
Not to be confused with tongalongas.
Yes.
People get really mad when you confuse those.
Yes.
Full disclosure, right now I'm telling you, Samoa's, Thin Mints, and peanut butter patties will not be facing off in the early rounds. We know these are the 3 that people like the most. I've had one
They're just the
sicko
most
tell me
popular.
they like the lemonades the best. I wanted to punch that guy.
I don't know if I've never had anything
Why
other than the
would
peanut
you?
butter and Thin Mints
Look,
now.
whatever.
Yeah. Like I feel like you have one that like you have Samoa's. Like
Yeah.
you have one that you do and you pick and you buy a box because you can only buy so many boxes
Well,
of
and
Girl
it's not
Scout
like
cookies.
they change.
Right. Yeah, and they're always the same. So everyone has their experiences. We want to hear what your experiences are. So we will be putting that to the test, and that will be our vote coming up next
Monday,
week.
Tuesday, Wednesday.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We will record next Wednesday with the results. I'm super excited about that. And then we're going to get into today. We're going to get into I have an on the road again. And
Did you just come from the road?
I did,
Oh my
yes. So
gosh.
I was driving, went down to Kansas City, met with my business partners a little bit today, and so I drove down there this morning early, up at 4:30, out on the road. Then I got back here right before we recorded at 7, and I am so impressed with my car that I did not have a tire blow up with the amount of potholes that are out on the road, and I'm going 80 miles an hour and hitting some of these potholes like, oh no! Like I thought that I was going to be on the side of the road, and I saw probably 10 each way that were on the side of the road on jacks, with just looking for tires. And so I actually read an article that there is a what do you call like a superhero, like a a person that is doing the job of like an official, a vigilante.
Yeah, like Batman.
In Indianapolis, there's a vigilante that's going around filling potholes.
What a guy!
And they're after him. Like they are. It's insane, right?
They have look. I get it. They have to be because there's such an insane number of regulations that they have to go through whenever you try to do anything. I get that. It's dumb. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But they have to go after him.
But this vigilante is making the world a better place.
The other way.
Yeah.
I mean, we got Ron Swanson out here filling potholes for the people.
Yes.
If this guy doesn't have a mustache and a shirt tucked in, then he's doing it all wrong.
Yes, he better. And I don't know. I haven't seen any pictures of him as of late, but I am super impressed with this guy. And for anybody out there that has the ability to do potholes in Iowa, go ahead and vigilante the hell out of these potholes because I feel like I'm on NASCAR like evasive maneuvers just going around these potholes that are out on our streets. So they are insane how many and like if you've seen my car, I have big rims, small tires, and I am like 100% amazed that I have not blown up my tire or ruined my rim on these potholes. That
hey, I'll tell you what. Oddly enough, it's causing me to read or pay attention to the road more than I ever have before.
Oh yeah, literally the road. So preview. We're not gonna give this away, but I'm previewing Jordan with our traveling trophy for the championship.
Oh.
Do you remember this show?
The what?
Do you remember that show? You might be a little young.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So there will be a male and a female traveling trophy with this, and it's a part of if you look up that show, that's the title of it.
Okay.
You'll know what it's about, and you'll probably have seen it. It was on
Just
Nickelodeon.
Like way back in the day.
Way back in the day. I also have a humans SMH. Womp womp. So, getting into humans SMH. This is funny because this is what the title reads. Another elderly Chinese passenger tosses coin into plane engine. Another. Yeah. So this lady in China this elderly lady was flying actually it's funny that she was flying Lucky Air.
Yeah.
Is the airline that she was flying. And but for luck she threw coins into the engine. And this incident occurred obviously at the airport, according to authorities. It and at least the second such report of this year of this scare caused by coin tossing elderly Chinese woman. Fellow passengers reported that she was throwing coins into the
Thank God.
into the engine. Subsequently, she was taken into custody, and it's not clear whether she would be facing charges or not. But the flight that was supposed to depart was actually grounded overnight for safety precautions.
Oh my gosh!
And in the picture in this article, like the crew climbing into the engine to try to pick up these coins.
They're just like, yep.
And so and this was the second one to throw lucky coins into the engine. In June, a superstitious 80-year-old woman
I don't understand this.
delayed a China Southern Airline flight, which was an international flight, nearly 6 hours as she tossed 9 coins into the engine.
It's like, okay, for luck and for superstition, I don't feel lucky or safe unless I completely endanger everybody on this ride. If we don't have a chance of falling into the abyss and blowing up in the middle of the sky, I just don't feel safe.
So this plane that requires these engines to work and take us up into the air, I'm going to throw a foreign object into.
Yes.
Like that makes absolutely
for
no
good
sense.
luck.
Yes. And this is the second report. This is the second time
These
that
two
happened.
are friends. There's no doubt in my mind. Don't try to feed me any other
Isn't
nonsense.
that crazy?
Those two are friends.
Yes.
And they have the same person telling them that it's good luck. Some shitty grandkid who watched a YouTube video is like, nah, grandma.
Just playing a trick on his grandma.
No way my grandma's this dumb. And then they see it in the news and they're like, oh my God, grandma.
Yeah, like this is absolutely insane. I loved it. Alexa came through today for me and had this story absolutely asinine.
Ugh.
So for anybody listening, do not throw coins into a airline engine. I don't think the safety protocol
especially if
would.
I'm there.
Yes,
I mean, like in general, but
Right.
guys, seriously, if I'm on the plane, please, for the love of God,
don't.
do not do that.
Please don't. So that's my humans. We are the same. We are the same species as someone throwing coins
It's a
into an
bummer
airplane.
sometimes.
Yeah. SMH. Let's see. Do we have any
all I've
other?
got.
That's all you got? Okay. So now let's get into our bangers. We're going to get into our weekend bangers. So we have to have, give us a second to pull these up on our phones here.
So I'll give mine a little bit of a intro. I found Mike Posner's The Layover from 2011 and was like, I used to really like this album. Let's play it and see if I like it. I've listened to it probably like 100 times since I got it, and I was like, yup, this album is amazing. I can't believe I ever stopped listening to it. All right, so here is Henny and Purple featuring Slim Thug.
Ooh, I like that little. This is a light and airy jam here.
This is you're riding around with the friends late at night, just enjoying life.
What's it called?
Henny and Purple.
Henny and Purple.
Yeah.
They're even talking about getting into the ride.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Oops.
So mine for this week is Twista featuring T-Pain.
Oh.
So going a little bit old school, you can't go wrong with Twista. T-Pain, used to bang on
He was on
everything.
He was DJ Khaled.
And this is
DJ
this is Creep Fast, Twista, T-Pain, and the reason that I was driving and this got my attention was the sirens, but then this beat. Yeah.
It's Twista. Come this way, come on. We got it Creep Fast. Come on. Watch as I hit it through the middle of the city in a Chevy and I'm ready with the whoopers that'll beat up your block. And I got the taking the machete for the niggas I can pay to get to talking, I'ma heat up your block. If you wanna bring your boys, better bring the toys, better bring the noise. I'm a purple full of ammunition. Bodies I be hitting when I get to spitting, everybody should have broken it.
Do you remember Twista being like the first like bash rap? Him and Tech Nine. Before yeah. But so you were the T-Pain era though. Yep. So this is right before. All right. Thank you so much, guys, for listening to another episode of the podcast, The Gym Closet. Go in, have a great weekend. We're going to exit with... This is my third part. I'm a big lyrics guy, so I love that they get into this. But please follow us on all of our social media at The Gym Closet, at Krave Gym for everything Krave Gym news. We're also going to be having a blog, and our podcast will be up on the website as well. So that will be coming to you shortly, so that you can listen and get all of our information that we talk about here in blog form as well. So thank you guys so much for listening. Have a great weekend.
assassin. The packing, I got in the be attacking the track. If I got a package of the good. See a legendary representative for the city, cause I put it down ever since I've been rapping in the hood. 17 years ago, when the flow and the show, and these niggas when it come to beating me, nobody could. I've been spitting venom ever since the days you just kept rapping and talk about putting diamonds on the wood. The old Cadillac people got some pain. I done got that guap and I never want to stop, now I ride a rain. And because I spit that crack is the reason we got some change. And if we ain't making money off that, then we got them things. Got the $8 hollers, 2 15s, if I wanna split a 9 piece, so you can get the whole brick. I run about making 100 every summer, pulling up in the home, we can make a nigga so sick. I will constantly come up with hits instead of be getting fans, it's only because a nigga flow sick. So in no debate, everybody know I'm breaking it, motherfucker, the hate that's up my dick. Motherfuckers like a lot of you know me, but they know just who I am. I'm a motherfucking killer, girl, nigga, you better act like you understand, cause I'm a killer.
Episode number 69. I really wanted to put the drunk pit. Did you see that?